Next up, guys, I'm just gonna drill the, not on here, but just by hand, I'm gonna drill a hole for where the filler is gonna go. It's a 2-inch fill, so it's gonna be on an angle coming in to below the first set of, below this first set of rings. Yeah, you get the idea. Have to be widened just a little bit. Okay, so there's those holes. Now, directly opposite this should be the suction line. Yeah, I might have to shorten it maybe just a little bit. But I had to make enough clearance as well for this weld bead, because obviously I'm going to weld this first and then put it through the hole. Okay, I didn't wreck it that I know of. We'll let that cool off before I open the cap up and take a peek inside. Okay, the next thing we can do, got all our holes situated here. And kind of hard to see. That's where that one will be. Going just on top of the groove. And then I got the bottom notched out where the hole lines up. So that's the suction side for the engine. So the next thing I got to do is notch out here for another tube for the breather, and the breather's got to go through the cap, but that's got to be fully welded onto here before going, you know, we'll figure it out. So, like I said, this is going to be notched down through here, and this little filter doohickey is going to go on top of the cap. So all of this goes with it when you open it up, essentially. Alright, we got our 90 welded in. Next up, I have to drill this hole in the top cover. And then it has to kind of be assembled, and then I can weld that on the top cover, and then that will determine exactly where this lays on the bottom side to weld that up as well. Alrighty, so I got everything where it needs to be, and I got this massive gap to try and fill. But that's because there's a lip at the top of this to hold the filter in place, and the hole saws don't come in the exact measurement that you want, and every time you drill them, they end up being larger than you want. So we're just gonna have to deal with it. Let's see if we can stick them together, anyways. Alright, it's done cooling off pretty much. I went ahead and I notched the bottom of that. I don't know if the flow differences are gonna change drastically, but this gets me as low to the bottom as I can get without it sealing on the bottom, I guess. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weld this thing in here, and then I'll probably have to touch it up with the grinder. And I also had to flatten out my cone shape a little bit, and I'm probably, yeah, I might have to cut this down a little bit more yet. But my drain is gonna sit proud of this, like above this. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna weld this into place, and then I can slide this section out. And there's one last thing to build, and that is two vertical plates in there, and that's to keep it from swirling around, hopefully. Cool. Looks pretty complicated. Really not a lot to it once you start breaking it down into pieces. You know, there's a bunch of holes you gotta drill, a couple pieces of pipe, and yeah, just planning where your in and out are, and alright, things gotta cool off again. Again. Alright, it's had enough time. It's cooled off. Let's try our first time assembling it completely. Everything is welded, everything's done. And one thing I can't remember if I showed you guys. I don't know if you've ever seen these before. I'm sure there's a few companies that probably make them. This one is from a company called No Spill Systems. So basically, you get them in any thread that you want for your drain plug. So I tapped this to a 1/2 inch MPT and then ordered one for 1/2 inch. So it has this, you can take that cap off anytime that you want. And it has this this special system inside of there that this hose activates. So you thread it on, nothing comes out, and then the tighter you go, you can see the O-ring and center section opens up, and then it starts draining out the bottom of the hose. And literally, we use these on everything in the oil patch, and no spills at all. There is not a drop that comes out of this thing. So I figured, why not? Let's make it nice to work on. Now this being NPT doesn't need an O-ring on here, but I cut a little spot for one up here. You know, it's not gonna hurt, and that allows me to, you know, make sure I'm not gonna have any leaks. Well, that's the plan anyways. So let's put everything together. Well, there we have it. So we got oil is going to return to engine from here, and it's going to face the engine. And this is going to come from an oil cooler. So we're going to come out of the engine into an oil cooler, go through the oil cooler, come back into here, and back into the top, remove the aeration. And she's got a breather built in. You can see how much fluid we got. Obviously you got a way to fill it there. And we got the pretty slick drain system on it. And unfortunately, I can't even work on the mounts for it because I got to do the alternator system first. Because this has got to sit as far or as close to it as I can get it. And I haven't got the alternator done yet, obviously. But yeah, the alternator is, I am switching to a automotive alternator, just a car alternator. So I have to build an entire system off the Hayabusa motor that bolts on and direct drives a alternator. So I think I'm going with a 70 amp unit. It should be more than enough. I could go bigger, but I don't think there's really a point to going any larger than that, other than, you know, add some more weight, which you know, not something I'm interested in doing. So we're going with a mini 70 amp one, and hopefully that does the trick. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Anything you guys would have done differently, any issues that you guys see maybe with this. I mean, it's not painted or anything, so it's easy enough to make changes. One guy suggested maybe putting in a plug in here for a heater, an oil heater, but being just a summer driven vehicle, I don't know if that's really going to be necessary. If you guys think it's worth putting one in, let me know. You know, I'm definitely no expert. I gotta figure out a way to pressure test this. I'll film that for you guys as well, just so we can see. I think there might end up being, you know, 1 or 2 little spots that could be iffy. I don't want any leaks in it, so we're definitely gonna do the pressure test. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you again on the next episode.